I'm going to talk to you guys today about the Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, LA Clippers saga. Pablo Torre, a sports journalist formerly of ESPN, alleges he's got documentation that demonstrates that Steve Ballmer and the Clippers paid Kawhi $28 million via Aspiration, which is a sustainability as a service company. I have no clue what that means, but they paid him $28 million to circumvent the NBA salary cap, which is a big no-no. But I'm going to take a different angle, right? I want to talk to the players, the player reps, people who support the players. This is Exhibit A of why you guys need to not agree to a salary cap in your next contract. This is demonstration that the market is willing to pay well above whatever the salary cap is for your services. I tell people all the time, I think there are 430 players in the NBA, and you can't find these guys in the NBA anywhere else. You can't move production to an offshore facility. You can't create a generic version of these players. These players are literally 430 of 7 billion people on the planet. I can throw a rock. Particularly with quantitative easing, I can throw a rock and find you a billionaire. I can find you 30 or 40 different wealth funds willing to finance the NBA at, I think, $3 billion a year or whatever it costs, all in. That's all in to fund operations. That's planes, that's arenas, that's player salaries, that's staff salaries, referees, like all in cost. You can find 2 dozen, 3 dozen wealth funds, and you can find probably 100 billionaires who would be willing to own a team and finance operations, which is really all owners are doing. But you can't find 430 replacement players that can provide the value units that the players provide to the market. So I say all that to say I never understood, I still don't understand, and I won't understand in the future why players with all that leverage agree to salary caps, which does nothing but limit their earning potential. And again, this is Exhibit A, right? You have a wealthy owner who sees value in the player beyond what he's allowed to pay the player. And this is alleged. I'm not saying that Steve Ballmer did this. He said he didn't do it. I believe him. I know Adam Silver said there's an investigation, so I'm just, all of this is just speculative. But if it's true, you have an owner, right, who values his player greater than what the salary cap allows him to pay, and so looks to circumvent that. Again, alleged. The same thing happened back in 1998 with my Minnesota Timberwolves. They offered Joseph Smith. No, not that Joseph Smith. This is Joe Smith, formerly of the Maryland Terrapins. But they offered him an under-the-table deal of $80 million if he would agree to two 1-year deals worth like $8 or $10 million to allow them to get under the cap or some such. He agreed to it. Somehow it came out and they were punished. But again, 25 years ago, NBA players, there was market evidence that owners were willing to pay more than what the salary cap allowed, which should have been indication to you, your agents, and your union reps that, hey, if we need to sit out a year to break this salary cap, then we need to do that because on the other end of that are much, much higher earnings for us. The salary cap is just you negotiating against yourself, which is a place you never want to be when you're doing business deals. So I have never understood it. The players are unique. The players are the crown jewel in the business that we call the NBA. There is no business without the players. There would absolutely positively be a business if all 30 owners and Adam Silver went away today. Again, you could throw a rock and find billionaires here in the U.S., Europe, Middle East, and Asia, South Asia, Far East Asia. You could find billionaires who would step in to the guaranteed returns that the NBA offers just like that. So you could not do the reverse. You could not find 430 players to provide the value units that the current players provide, particularly the top 25, 50 players. So I don't, for the life of me, understand why the NBA players agreed to a salary cap. And again, this latest thing with Kawhi Leonard is just Exhibit A. And my guess, I would say, is this the only one? If you were to ask me based on Pablo's reporting, I would probably say it's more likely that it's not the only one than it is the only one. Again, even given the evidence for Joe Smith 25 years ago. And I remember because Kevin McHale was our general manager at the time back in 1998 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think out of his own mouth, he said, he thought there were 8 to 10 other teams that were doing stuff like this, that they were, and I'm paraphrasing, that they're smart enough not to get caught. So NBA players, reps, union reps, agents, probably less agents, but more union reps and the players directly, you are negotiating against yourself whenever you sign a deal that binds your earnings to some arbitrary salary cap, right? If the owners want to offer the money to you, then you should be able to take it like any other industry any other industry in the world. All right, I forgot to mention my new card game, the GOATest of all time. It is an NBA trivia, basketball trivia card game. If you love NBA, if you love trivia, go and get it. You can get it on Walmart.com, or you can get it on Amazon.com. The GOATest of all time. Yes, that's my own design. You see the gentleman with the goat head handling the pill, trying to get downhill to the cup. And then on the back of the box, you've just got a goat and basketball. 300 questions, 150 cards. Again, if you love the NBA as much as I do, I started watching the NBA religiously in 1991 during MJ's first championship. Been watching it religiously ever since. This is the game for you. We got 300 questions, coaches, teams, owners, arenas, team titles, team championships, and then players, obviously. A bunch of questions on players. I'll give you guys a sample reading before I close out here. First question, which Celtic legend wore number 32? Is it A, Robert Parrish, B, Bill Walton, C, Kevin McHale, or D, Paul Pierce? I'll let you guys figure that out. The answer was previewed in today's video. Second question, probably a lot more tougher for some of you guys. This gentleman was on the 1994 All Big East freshman team. Is it A, Kerry Kittles, B, John Wallace, C, Ray Allen, or D, Daniel Marshall? All four of those gentlemen played in the league. That is a tough question. You really need to be a basketball fan to be able to answer that. So again, $9.99. Do me a favor and go grab it if you're watching this video and you're a basketball fan.